Welcome to We Are Soccer, the show that talks about pro soccer, youth soccer, and everything in between. I'm your host, Craig Hearn. All right, lots to get through this week. Today's show, we're talking about Champions League as we have two Americans who've made it to the final, Man United protests, Detroit City FC and how they just keep on winning, a stunning MLS goalie you have to see to believe, tips and tricks for kids and parents as tryouts are looming for youth teams. I also tell you some funny stories, if we can get to that, because as I said, there's just an absolute ton of soccer to get through this week. Make sure you stick around for the entire show because, we got a doozy for you here, folks. All right, right off the bat, big thank you to our sponsors. Huge thank you. They've supported us, and they continue to support us as we move forward here with We Are Soccer. So thank you, Detroit City FC, Michigan Jaguars, Superior Family Dental, Ross Mortgage with Tim Merritt, and Next Level Training. Very big thank you, sponsors. We'll mention you a little later as well and give you some love. All right, let's jump right in. Let's get to the Champions League. Champions League, as we know, is the pinnacle of the sport at the moment. There's been a lot of news over the past couple of weeks with a lot of those super teams trying to form the Super League and how it's now defunct. But the Champions League obviously is where it's at. It's where these teams strive to be. It's where every club wants to be at. And man, if you didn't get a chance to see the games that are on tap this week, you missed out on some absolutely brilliant soccer. I cannot speak highly enough of the value that was in these games, and the entertainment value for me was absolutely brilliant. We'll start off with that first game, PSG, Man City. I tell you what, obviously, just PSG, one of the top clubs in the world, we know. They didn't do themselves any favor with kind of, I think, towards the end of this game, but we'll get to that. Man City came in up 2-1 in aggregate. This game started out with ice and snow on the ground. If you saw it, the ground was covered with chunks of snow and hail. One of the questions I have for UEFA is, do you guys not have a yellow ball? All the other professional leagues in the world play with a yellow ball when this happens. It makes it a lot easier to watch the game with a yellow ball bouncing around instead of a white ball with snow. Let's get a yellow ball there, UEFA Champions League, please. All right, on to the play. The first goal, just in the 11th minute, if you didn't see it, the ball kind of goes around in the back of Man City. It goes back to Ederson, and he plays a one-time ball out to Zinchenko on the left. And I mean a one-time ball out that went 70 yards down the left-hand side. Zinchenko runs onto it, cuts it back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne takes a shot that's deflected. Mahrez is wide open on the back stick, collects that ball and sticks it in the back of the net with his weak foot. I don't know if it's Pep Guardiola's influence or if it's just Ederson, who can absolutely play a ball that is money. But I think it's a combination of both. Ederson is brilliant with his feet. One of the reasons they paid so much money for him. Yes, he's a very, very good goalkeeper, but he's one of the best in the world with his feet and the ball at his feet. And that ball, like I said, that he played out to Zinchenko was just absolutely money. PSG, to their credit, did come back, and they hit the crossbar. They played well. They put some pressure on. But in my mind, at that point, the tie was 3-1, and City kind of knew they had this in the bag. I will say that it was really good to see a team like Man City. I know they're comprised of, 70 million pound players, $80 million players here, and they need a spot and they go out and buy it. But you still have to get them to buy into the team, right? The atmosphere. So they don't have any superstar who's off by himself. They are an absolute team, right? There was a play where it was 1-0 to Man City. PSG, Neymar gets the ball, cuts around the box, looks like he's going to shoot, fakes it, keeps going. Zinchenko and John Stones both get down for the block. Zinchenko ends up blocking the ball. John Stones and Zinchenko get up. The ball goes out for a corner. They're high-fiving each other. Everybody's patting him on the back. It's 3-1 in the tie. Essentially, Man City have this in the bag. but they're patting each other on the back and they're working hard every single minute of this game. For me, that was a really cool thing to see, because right then and there, I think PSG fell apart. That's when it started to get a little dicey for them. They became petulant little babies, rolling, and some of their players do that. It takes away from them and their play, in my opinion. But they just became babies overall, and they weren't a team. They weren't playing together. They were whining at the referee. It wasn't a good look for them overall. Mahrez gets the ball in the second half, back of the net, 2-0. In the end, 4-1 aggregate tie for the win for City there. Again, that was only the first game of the semifinals, that half. It was absolutely brilliant. I was just enthralled, couldn't take my eyes off the game. I'm not sure if you guys felt the same way, but I hope so, because as I said, for me, it was probably some of the best soccer I've seen. And then we went on to the next game the next day, where Real Madrid visited Stamford Bridge and Chelsea Wednesday. All right, this game 1-1 after the first leg. This is the second leg at Stamford Bridge, as I said. For the unknowing soccer fan, you might pick out the big names of Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, Thiago. Okay, yes, I get it. But this game, for me, and this entire tie against Real Madrid for Chelsea, was won by two players who fly under the radar. One, N'Golo Kante. This little man is absolutely phenomenal. Next time you watch a Chelsea game, which could be later today, we'll talk about that in a minute. Watch the way he just works. There is no one on the field who runs more than N'Golo Kante. This guy is just a workhorse with a great touch and a really nice creative mind to play the ball. I tell you what, the other, I'll say, the kind of flies under the radar is their new keeper, Mendy. He kept them in this game. He made two phenomenal saves against Karim Benzema that money well spent. And this was a great signing for Chelsea. I don't think they thought he was going to come in and be their starting goalkeeper quite this soon, but an absolutely stunning goalkeeper Mendy is. Ramos was back for Real Madrid, his first game in 5 weeks. Yes, he's the heart and soul of Real Madrid. He has a lion heart and just an absolute warrior on the field. But his age and his lack of fitness really showed in this game. There were several spots where he got caught out. He ran out to try defend, got beat by a 1-2 pass really quick. Excuse me, he ran out to defend, had to quickly backtrack because he was too far out from his position, left a big hole behind him. He showed that he hasn't played in 5 weeks. I think this game especially, Zinedine Zidane was outcoached by Thomas Tuchel. For this season, with the injuries that Real Madrid have had, Zinedine Zidane has done an absolutely phenomenal job coaching this team to where they're at. They're in striking distance of winning the La Liga. He has had to deal with some injuries. It's been a season for Real Madrid. I don't think I've seen a game where he's been outcoached. Zinedine Zidane, for me, in this game, was outcoached 100% by Thomas Tuchel. Chelsea could have won this game by a clear 3 or 4 goals. They ended up winning 2-0. The first goal, Chelsea, N'Golo Kante wins the ball in the middle of the field, gets a toe to it, plays a 1-2, plays it out to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz lifts the ball over to the goalkeeper. I think he should have done a little bit better, to be honest. But he does a good job getting the ball over to the goalkeeper, hits the crossbar, ball pops up, comes down, and Timo Werner slides in there for a nice little easy header on the 1-yard line. Very hard to miss that one. I do want to kind of quickly clarify something. I did hear this week on a certain radio station, some of the pundits were asking why Timo Werner jumped when there was no one around him and he's on the 1-yard line and heading the ball. I can tell you I've been in that position as a forward, and you jump so you can get to the ball sooner. If you wait, as a forward, you're taught to go to the ball. If you wait for the ball, there is a chance that someone, especially a goalkeeper, can use his hands and get back and slide, knock that ball away. So he jumps. Timo Werner gets up. He jumps, gets to the ball early as he can, puts the ball in the net. Yes, it would have been funny if he had missed that chance, but all the money that he's paid, and he is a good player. Don't get me wrong, he is a good player. He has missed a hatful of chances, but he's a good player. He jumped, headed the ball. Very nice play. Again, started by N'Golo Kante, though. I'm telling you, the next time you watch a Chelsea game, watch N'Golo Kante. This little guy is just phenomenal. Quick side note on N'Golo Kante, came from Leicester. Just likes to hang out with fans. He earns close to £300,000, which is about just shy of maybe $400,000 a week. And he drives a little Mini. He loves his little Mini. He drives that to and from practice. The guy just loves soccer, loves simple living. It's a really cool backstory that he has. One little backstory I heard this week was when he was at Leicester, he didn't live too far away from the training ground, and he told a couple of his teammates that he was every day gonna jog into training, and they had to talk him out of it because they didn't want him too tired at training, and said that's not a good look either in case you kind of get lost or something else happens to you. But such a cool guy. Awesome story. The other player I mentioned earlier was the goalkeeper Mendy for Chelsea. 7 years ago, he was applying for unemployment and potentially applying to jobs as a grocery bagger. Now he's in the final of the Champions League. You want to talk about an awesome story about going up and just working your way up through the leagues? Oh, man. Highly recommend. We don't have time today to go through that whole story, but a very cool story about their goalie. So check that out. All right, so Chelsea did end up winning this game 2-0 and sealing their place in the finals. So we now have an all-English final of Chelsea versus Man City. They also happen to play each other later today, Saturday. So I believe the game is on NBC, not NBC Sports. We might have to confirm that, but at 12:30. Interesting game, this, obviously, to preview of the final. So today's their league game. Man City already have the league pretty much wrapped up. If they win today, they will secure 100%. That's it. The league is theirs. They'll be crowned champions of the Premiership today. If they don't win, it'll be delayed for another week. So, I mean, if you're the manager, Thomas Tuchel and Pep Guardiola, what do? Do you go for it? Do you play your B team? Do you put your tactics in place? There's a lot of questions. So there's a lot of things that could be happening today. I don't think you're going to see, from my opinion, I don't think you're going to see the A team come out and play. So for Man City, I think you're going to see Aguero. I think you're going to see Jesus. I think you're going to see Sterling. You'll see Rodrigo in the back. I don't know if you'll see Ederson. I don't think you'll see John Stones. I don't think you'll see De Bruyne. I don't know if Zinchenko will play. I mean, how nice is it that your B team consists of Jesus, Aguero? You can bring Sterling on there. I mean, they, to their credit, they've had a lot of money, oil money, I get it, to go out and buy these players. But you haven't seen them in the last couple of years buy players that they can't use. Right? They don't go out and spend $70 million on a player and then he never gets used. They do have a very good scouting system in place, so they're not wasting money. We've seen a lot of other big clubs go out and spend a lot of money on players, and those players just don't fit within the system or fit within the team. So kudos there to Man City. Keep your eyes on that game, the preview of the final. The Champions League final is May 29th. 3 o'clock Eastern time. We Are Soccer's possibly putting together an event. So if anybody's interested, keep your eyes open on our social channels and we'll have more information for that. Currently, the final in May 29th is scheduled to be played in Istanbul, Turkey, who this week went into a lockdown due to COVID. So what does that mean? Right now, UEFA has stated that 4,000 fans from each team can fly over and be at the final. So you've got a total of 8,000 pretty much English people, English fans, flying from England to Turkey, a country in lockdown for COVID. And that final is due to be played in, I think it's 3 weeks from today. Probably not a good look there. So Aston Villa, my team, Aston Villa, yes, have opened up and contacted the English FA, and they've also contacted UEFA and offered up Villa Park for that game to be played. Just so you know, Villa Park is between Manchester and London. Manchester's where Manchester City play, London where Chelsea play. So Villa Park's right in between. Lots safer COVID-wise and traveling-wise, and it'll save a lot of money for everybody involved. It sounds easy to do, right? All right, cool. Just move it from Istanbul to Birmingham, England, where Villa Park. But there's a lot of things that have to happen. Villa Park is a beautiful stadium. It holds just under 40,000, but it's not set up according to UEFA's restrictions. So they got to make the press boxes a little bigger. They got to open up certain sections. There are some work the Villa's going to have to do and take care of, but I do like that option a lot better. One, it'll save the fans a lot of money. It's a lot safer. So hopefully UEFA kind of uses their brain here and says, yep, we're going to let you play at Villa Park. And if not at Villa Park, maybe it's Wembley, maybe it's somewhere else in England, maybe it's somewhere a little closer. I don't know, but hopefully UEFA uses the brain. All right, Man City, Chelsea, both have an American player playing for them. Zach Steffen is the backup goalkeeper at Man City. No, he's probably not going to play in this final, the Champions League final. He did win the Carabao Cup with Man City, and he did play all through that tournament, which is really good to see. I don't think we'll see him playing in the Champions League final, and that's okay. He's a young goalkeeper. Ederson's the number one. We talked about Ederson having the ball at his feet and just how good he is. But we do have an American there playing for Man City on one side. We also have Christian Pulisic on the other side. Christian Pulisic in the semifinal this past week came on in the 68th minute, and he turned the game around. It is so fun to watch him play. He gets the ball and he likes to run. He is so clean as a runner with the ball at his feet. It is so fun to watch. He is responsible for that second goal. He made it a great run. N'Golo Kante gave him the ball. Notice the name N'Golo Kante again. He is everywhere, I tell you. Christian Pulisic could have shot. He held the ball, waited for the goalkeeper to go down, slid it across. Absolutely great pass, 2-0 Chelsea there. So we've got on one side Zach Steffen, and on the other side Christian Pulisic. Pulisic, barring any injury, is guaranteed to play a part in this game. He should start. I thought he should have started this past week. Obviously, you can't fault the tactics because Chelsea did win 2-0, and it is good to bring someone like Pulisic off the bench. But I would like to see him start. He's deserved the start here. He did come out this week and say he's a little frustrated that he hasn't started, and it's taken him a long time to get into the starting lineup and earn minutes under Tuchel. But, he's young. He's got a lot of time. The rumors are swirling already about this summer, what could happen, these last couple of games. If Pulisic doesn't play more minutes and he does get a little unhappy, does he still feature in Tuchel's plans moving forward for the upcoming seasons? I would say there's a lot of teams, good teams in the world who would love to have Christian Pulisic. Chelsea aren't going to be, if they do decide to sell him, aren't going to sell him cheap though. I mean, they bought him for £58 million, so it's close to $70 million. It's probably going to take that and more now that he's an established Premiership player to get him. I would love to see him at my team, Aston Villa. I don't know if we'll break the bank and do that, but any team in the world would love to have him. So, Champions League final, May 29th. We're going to have a We Are Soccer event. Keep your eyes on our channels, social channels for that. I'll have more info in the coming weeks. But probably this week you'll see that we'll be releasing. We're going to have an event here in Metro Detroit where we can have fans show up and watch the game. That's going to be a lot of fun. We might even have a little soccer game, some little games going on. So lots of fun there. All right, let's jump into the other big news that happened recently. Jose Mourinho has signed a deal to be Roma's next manager. So 15 days after getting sacked by Tottenham. Roma sign up for to take the special one. I don't know if we're still calling him the special one or what, but he's done some good things. He's a very good coach. He's considered one of the better coaches over the last 2 decades. But I really hope Roma know what they're signing up for here. I did read this morning that when Mourinho was at Spurs, he was on 16 million euros a year. That's a lot of money for a manager. And for the next 2 years, Spurs, you're going to be paying Jose. You're still paying him. You're paying him severance. So €9 million for each of the next 2 years. So you still owe him 18 million euros. That's a lot of money to be paying a manager who isn't doing anything for you, and is now also getting paid 7 million euros at Roma. That is with bonuses. So I'm pretty sure there's bonuses in there that says get us to the Champions League, win so many games, get us into certain rounds of the cup there. So I've heard that he has collected over £100 million in severance in his career. That is not to say that he just goes to places and looks to get money. I will say that Jose Mourinho is a good manager. I don't like his brand of soccer. It's a little bit boring. It's a little bit of park the bus, if you will. But the man knows how to win. He didn't win anything at Tottenham, but everywhere else he's been, he has won trophies. So Roma, I think it's a good hire. I don't think it's a long-term hire. I think it's a 2, maybe 3-year hire. One item we have to kind of mention is, are there going to be a lot of players who want to go to play for Jose Mourinho, knowing his coaching style and his parking the bus? Are you going to be able to get a big-name player to go there and score goals for you? Because that's what you're going to need, Jose, to get into Champions League. This year, Roma finishes 8th. It's not finished yet in Serie A. It's not over yet, but they're in 8th spot. Essentially, that's a 4-team league. So they did very poorly. Fired the manager, brought in Jose to see if they could get them into the top 4 there into Champions League. So he doesn't start till next season. They still do have a few games left. So big news there. All right, we're gonna continue with the world soccer in a little bit, but right now I want to kind of chat about our local pro soccer team, Detroit City FC, one of my favorite teams. Detroit City FC, they're on fire this year so far. Not only did they win all of their preseason games in the Legends Cup down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, took home a piece of silverware there, which was proudly displayed to fans at last Saturday's game. But then they put on a show last week at Keyworth Stadium. Detroit City wins 1-0 on a last-minute goal from Anthony Manning, and it was 1-0. That's not to say it wasn't an entertaining game. Adam, if we could you go ahead and show the clip of the goal from last week's game? So, corner kick, Detroit City FC there, swings the ball in, and Anthony Manning pops up and just puts the ball home. Just a great goal to win it on. And as you can see, runs straight to the fans to celebrate with the Northern Guard. The smoke flares, the cheering. Due to COVID, here in the state of Michigan, we're only allowed to have 1,600 fans in the stadium. It felt like 16,000 fans. They do such a good job, Detroit City FC and the fans. I mean, just so fun to go to these games. This game was streamed as well, so if you weren't at the game, you were still able to watch it. Lots of fun. Rowdy fans. I do want to put a big thank you out to a lot of the fans. So I was at this game. We did a pregame and a postgame. I want to say thank you to a lot of the Detroit City FC fans, because as we were doing our pre and post and during the game, we had a lot of people come up and talk to us, and they talked about We Are Soccer and what we've got going on here. So thank you very much for all the kind words from the fans. It was really good to hear and get some feedback on the show. Big shout out to my friend Red, who gave me a podcast tip to listen to. So he gave me a podcast that I'm going to be listening to, and I'll pass along my thoughts on that. So thank you, Red. Really appreciate it. And we had a good conversation in the game as well. As I said, it was a 1-0 game, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a good game. All right, soccer, yes, it can be low scoring, and yes, it can be boring at times. But I tell you what, that game would have been 3 or 4-0 if it wasn't for the Maryland Bobcats goalie. That guy stood on his head. He had an absolutely phenomenal game. For me, he could have been man of the match. Anthony Manning did come away with man of the match because he played very well. And then he's popped up in the right time and scored the winning goal in the last kick of the ball, essentially. The back line for Detroit City FC was tremendous. They shut down Maryland. Every time Maryland put on an attack, the back line closed the attack down. Stephen Carroll and Nate Steinwasser, the goalie, they have that back line humming along. I'm telling you what, every time Maryland swung a ball in, who would pop up? But Steve Carroll, the captain, and he would head that ball clear, take charge. I love the way you can see him kind of guide and move his line, his wingbacks up, moving. Everybody's in line, everybody's organized. There's a reason that Trevor James, the manager and head coach of DCFC, calls Steve Carroll one of the best players in the league. If you get a chance to watch, and I really hope you guys do watch Detroit City FC games, whether you're here in Detroit or whether you're anywhere else in the world, we stream the games online. It's on YouTube. We Are Soccer. We pass along that feed for that. Watch number 5, Steve Carroll, the captain for Detroit City. Just, I love the way he organizes. I love the way he leads the team. All right. I would be amiss if I didn't mention my favorite player of this game. And I didn't know too much about him beforehand, but after watching him, he's quickly become one of my favorite Detroit City FC players. Maxi Rodriguez, number 21. Essentially, he was playing in a defensive midfield role, and he was the connector. He'd come back towards his defense with his back to the goal. He'd come back, grab the ball, turn, and split it out wide. This guy was the connector for me. He just oozed class. You never saw him get frazzled. He was jogging everywhere because he didn't need to sprint. He didn't need to put in that extra energy because he uses his brain. The sign of a really good player who can use his brain, get in the position early. He did a phenomenal job of making sure his back line and his forwards and his outside backs were connected. He, for me, is the connector. I really enjoyed watching him play that game. Keep your eyes on him moving forward, guys. This guy can play. If he can continue this progress, I think he can continue up the leagues and really become a solid player. Good player, good dude as well. Swapped messages with him on Twitter. Give him a follow on Twitter if you can. Great player. All right. So that was last week's game, the home opener at Keyworth. Detroit City also played last night. They are now on a 4-game road trip. They traveled out last night to Warwick, New York, and took on New Amsterdam FC. Detroit City FC won the game 1-0. I believe we have the clip of the goal, if we could, Adam. So this happened in the 15th minute. New Amsterdam turns the ball over in a pretty bad area, their final third there. And Detroit City just takes advantage of it. If we can let this clip play again, Adam, you'll see. Watch this. The goal, I mean, that is just... The guy barely takes a backswing of his leg. It just pops right in the goal. It's just the goalie just doesn't see it coming. I don't know what the goalie's yelling at his defense for giving the ball away in a terrible position. But I just don't think he saw this goal coming, the shot coming. Just a nice little pass into the corner of the net. So DCFC win this game 1-0. Another clean sheet for Nate Steinwasser. He's recorded, what is it, 5 clean sheets now? 6 clean sheets? 7? It's bizarre. Again, Nate Steinwasser had 5 saves last night, but he is having a season so far. And that's not all in him. Again, as we talked about, that back line for Detroit City FC, they're in midseason form. So I hope it continues. Next up for Detroit City's men's team is another away match. As we said, this is that last night was the first of 4. They're heading out to California to play against the California United Strikers FC on May 12th at 10 p.m. Eastern. Again, you'll be able to find that streaming online. We'll have to check to see if it's on WB20 or any of the local channels. I'm not sure because of the lateness of that one. I hope it is, but if not, check online. We Are Soccer will put that link out as well. Yeah, so we're going to have another show before. So next Saturday, Detroit City FC's women team has their home opener. We Are Soccer will be out there for that one. So if you guys haven't got your tickets for that, make sure you jump online to debtcityfc.com. Grab your tickets for the women's game. It's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to talking to Sam Pirani, the head coach. And we're hoping to have a player in here as well. We'll do an interview and talk about that game next Saturday. All right. Let's jump into a little bit more world soccer. This little clip I want to show you here, this happened last night. Adam, if you could bring up that MLS goal. I know a lot of people don't like MLS, but you got to see this goal, folks. Check this out. This is from Rubio Rubin of Real Salt Lake. Little flick, chest, bicycle. Wow. What an absolutely stunning strike. That's contender for goal of the year right there. We're into week 2, maybe week 3 of the MLS, and I have seen no less than 4 goals so far that could be goal of the year. I mean, that's a lot of goals for this early in a season to be goal of the year. That one right there is contender. Just a stunning strike so far. All right. As I said, I know a lot of people don't like MLS, and yes, the non-relegation and promotion really, and it being a closed league does really hurt it in fans' eyes here in Detroit especially, but in other parts of the country and the world. I get it. But MLS has some really good young players. So it's a good option for our players here. And I know that a lot of the older pros from overseas come here for a payday. I get that. I get it. But besides the actual politics of the league, if you could, guys, give it a chance. And no, they're not a sponsor. I'm not pushing them in any way. But I like soccer. I just love soccer. And it's come along. The MLS has come a long way in the last couple of years. There's some great players. One we keep mentioning here is Daryl Dike, who's gone on loan from Orlando City over to Barnsley in England. But he cut his teeth for 2 years here in the MLS. There's a kid for San Jose who's 17 years old who's scoring goals. The MLS is becoming a good league. So, no, don't close your eyes to the closed league concept. I get it. But please enjoy it for the soccer. There really is some good soccer to be enjoyed. My team, who I've now dubbed my team, Inter Miami, they've had a good start to the season so far. It's fun to watch. I bought the jersey and displayed it on We Are Soccer a couple of weeks back. I'm hoping to travel down to a game in the coming weeks and do a little bit of a show or some clips from there. We'll see if that happens. It makes it really tough with COVID and traveling here in the States. So we'll see if that happens, but don't sleep on the MLS, guys. We're going to be bringing you a little bit more info on that in the coming weeks. Other big news kind of happened late last week, early this week, sorry. So 6-7 days ago. The protests at Man United. We had talked last show, about the game of Liverpool visiting Man United. Would have been the biggest game probably in the year. Over 1 billion fans were slated to watch that, just a regular league game between these two famous old clubs. And then about 2.5 hours before kickoff, as the pundits were getting ready, as the cameras were getting set up, there was protests outside. And I got no problem with the protests. Man United fans, you 100% should be protesting the Glazers, your owners, because they are terrible people. They're just businessmen. They don't care about your club. They've let your stadium go to shit. Sorry, kids. But Old Trafford is a good stadium, and the Glazers, in the 16 years that they've owned that club, have let that thing deteriorate. There's holes in the roof. It needs updating, needs major updates. The Glazers will let it go. They continue to take money out of that club every month, right? They take money. They should be putting money back into the club. Yes, they've bought some players here and there when needed. They haven't bought enough players, but they're lining their own pockets. The Glazers are are businessmen 100%. They do not care about your club. Yes, you should protest them. But no, you should not be storming the field and ruining the field, ruining parts of the stadium, doing damage, putting people's safety at risk. I'm sorry. You put the stewards at risk. You put the police at risk. You put other fans at risk. You put the pundits at risk. You cannot do that. That is a terrible look. And I know that it's a very, very small percentage of Man United fans. I had some great conversations this week with Man United fans who said that they do not agree with those protests. They do not agree at all with anything that happened. And I applaud you, Man United fans, for that. But it's the small sector that ruined it. They pushed that game to be delayed. So Man United versus Liverpool has now been delayed, and that game is going to be pushed back to May 13th. And we'll talk about that in a second. The fixture pileup that is now going to happen for Man United. I hope the Glazers, for my friends who are Man United fans, I know there's a lot of you, I hope the Glazers sell up and clear out of your club. I don't think it's going to happen. They're there to make money. They don't care about you guys. They don't care about your protests. They don't care about anything. They are pushing for more games. They're pushing for Premiership games over here in America. Why? Because they want to make money. That's it, 100%. We could talk all day about that. The fixture pileup. So I'm going to read here. Manchester United, Liverpool scheduled for May 13th. Man United now have 4 games in 9 days. 4 Premiership games in 9 days, and then they have the Europa League final that they're preparing for. So they got to keep their players healthy. Here's what you've got coming up, Man United fans. So tomorrow, Sunday, May 9th, you're playing my team, Aston Villa, which is not going to be an easy game for you. 2 days later, the 11th, you play Leicester, which is not an easy game because Leicester are trying to get into the top 4, and so they're going to be going for it. Then you're at home to Liverpool on the 13th, 2 days later after the Leicester game. And then 5 days later, you play Fulham. That one might be your easiest game. Coaches usually complain about a fixture pileup when this happens. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be complaining about fixture pileup here because it was caused by his own fans. So, but Man United fans, the protests, this is what you've caused. Can you imagine if one of your star players, Fernandes, Rashford, if they get hurt in that game, in one of these games, and don't have enough time to recover for your Europa League final? That's on you guys, that small sector of fans. I hope the charges are brought against those people. There was a security guard who was injured. And I've also, I want to quickly mention this, I've also seen that there's been a lot going around on Twitter and other pundits saying that they saw the security guards kind of letting the fans in and onto the field. I tell you why the security guards were doing that, because they were afraid. There was 200 to 300 fans who were protesting, and those guys were drunk, and they were throwing things, and they were going to do whatever they had to do to get on the field. So it's in the best interest of the guards, their own best interest, to not get injured, not get into fights with these guys, because it could have turned out bad. So yeah, I don't begrudge the security guards for that. So, you know, I could go on all day about these protests of Man United and Glazers, but we don't want to do that. Thank you to Tim Merritt and Ross Mortgage. They're helping bring this segment to you guys. For over 70 years, Ross Mortgage has been in the lending game and has the experience to help you. If you need help, if you have questions, if you're looking to refinance, call my friend Tim Merritt at Ross Mortgage. They handle your transaction from application to closing. And tell Tim I sent you. He's a good dude, a good soccer player, and he'll help you get your financial refinances in place. Thank you, Tim, for sponsoring the World Soccer segment here. As we continue along, why don't we talk about some Spanish La Liga? The top 4 teams all play each other this weekend. That's kind of exciting. It's not very often that happens because for once in the Liga, we have one of 4 teams. Any of these 4 teams could win the league. Normally, it's one of 2 teams. It's either Barcelona or Real Madrid. Who's going to win? That's year after year after year. This year, we've got 4. So I'm going to read down the table from 1 to 4. So Atletico Madrid are on 76 points. Real Madrid are on 74 points. Barcelona on 74 points. They are 3rd behind Real Madrid in goal difference. And then you have Sevilla on 70 points. 4 games left, including this weekend. 4 games left in the season. This could go any which way, right? Atletico have been leading for quite a majority here. Their points, the gap has closed. Can they keep it up? Can they keep going? Are Madrid going to pass them? Is Barcelona going to pass? Your money, obviously, would probably, if you're a betting man on this, probably be on Real or Barca. But you just never know. La Liga, 1 of 4 teams can win it. Lots of fun, finally, in that league. All right, let's jump into some of the games this weekend for the English Premier League. I've picked out a few games here. We'll just briefly mention them. We've got Man City versus Chelsea, as we talked about. What's going to happen there? The B team. What are the tactics going to be? Pep Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel. It's going to be interesting to see what they come out with today for their game. It'll be a good game. Let's hope there's no injuries. I want to see both teams fully fit and healthy for that Champions League final on May 29th. The other game, which is happening right now, is Leeds versus Tottenham. Leeds are up currently 2-1. You can see in the upper corner right there, 2-1. Thank you, Adam, for adding those graphics. Our guy Adam behind the scenes, man, I tell you, he does such awesome stuff. So Leeds leading 2-1. Leeds have nothing to play for. Leeds aren't getting into Europe. They're not being relegated. They're going to finish 10th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. They really got nothing to play for here. But they're coming out and taking it to Tottenham. Tottenham should be going at this. The manager, Ryan Mason, interim manager Ryan Mason, 29 years old, really should be putting his foot down here and trying to make a case for himself, if not for this job, but another high-profile job. Losing here. He has won his previous 2 Premiership games. You should be beating Leeds, though, here, Tottenham, especially because if you win, you'll be 2 points off of 4th spot, which is inside of the Champions League there. So it's a little surprising to see Tottenham losing. Other games that's happening this weekend in the Premiership, we got Liverpool versus Southampton. Liverpool currently in 7 points out of 4th spot in that Champions League spot. Southampton really got nothing to play for. Liverpool, you expect them to win this one, but it's been such an up and down season, more down than up, to be honest. Just a game. We should expect Liverpool to win that one. Arsenal versus West Brom. West Brom most likely headed into relegation there. Pretty much done. The two draws in their last 2 Premiership games have pretty much sealed their fate. Arsenal coming off that loss this week, the Europa League semifinal loss. They're not going to get into Europe after this. They're too far out. Be a good game, I assume, but I wouldn't pick that one to watch out of all the other games. West Ham versus Everton. This is the real battle for 4th, in my opinion. Everton a bit of a slide lately. They lost to Villa last week, 2-1. I think West Ham win this one, and I think they're going to claim that 4th spot and get into Europe. Aston Villa, Man United play tomorrow. Obviously, then we talked about Man United 2 days later. Go ahead and play, and then they play another 2 days later on Thursday. Fixture pile up again for Man United. Are they going to look too far ahead and overlook Aston Villa? I hope so. Villa are going to come out and give it a hell of a go. Ollie Watkins has been on fire. He's got 13 goals this year. El Ghazi, as we're calling him, El Golzo, scored. He's been on fire. He's got 8 goals this year. I would love Villa to come out and really go at Man United. I think Villa could get it done. Man United are going to look too far ahead here. They might not play their full A team. We'll see. Villa without Grealish, proving that they're not a one-man team the last couple of weeks. They've been playing okay. With Grealish, though, we would be a lot higher up the standings. All right. Something other of note, EFL, which is the championship, the league below the Premiership. Wayne Rooney needs to win. If they don't, Wayne Rooney and Derby County will be relegated. Will Rooney stick with them if they fall to the next division? Will they go up? I do want to quickly take 30 seconds. This is something we can talk about in the coming weeks. In the Championship, you finish one, you get promoted to the Premiership. You finish second place, you get promoted to the Premiership. If you finish in third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, you go into a little tournament, a little playoff. 3 plays 6 and 4 plays 5. Both games at Wembley, and then the winners of those two go and play at Wembley against each other, and the winning team goes up to the Premiership. Those games, that little tournament, is the most fun to watch because those teams, if they win, they get promoted to the Premiership and instantly gain 170 million pounds, which is equal to about $200 to $220 million. So your team goes from the Championship to the Premiership. Your club then gets $220 million put into their bank account. You can buy a lot of good players with that. So the most expensive game in soccer, folks, bigger than the World Cup, bigger than the Champions League, the English EFL, the English Championship. The winning teams get $220 million put into their bank account. The most expensive game in soccer. I do want to give a quick shout out to our Bundesliga expert Nate. He's probably on cloud 9 this morning as Stuttgart won yesterday 2-1 against Augsburg. If you get a chance, go ahead and watch you can find the highlights on ESPN. All the Bundesliga games are on ESPN. Sasa Klajic pulling the strings on that win for Stuttgart. He had a goal and assist. Really nice player there for Stuttgart. Really good game, 2-1 over Augsburg. I really wanted to show you a 2 to 3 minute clip that we had. Nate, our Bundesliga expert, and I this week sat down to do an extra time Bundesliga chats. You can find that on the We Are Soccer Facebook and YouTube channels. It's about 20 minutes. We talk about the Bundesliga, the players, the games this weekend, where some of those players could be going this offseason, and the coaching merry-go-round. Go ahead and to take a look on that on our social channels, and keep an eye on the Bundesliga. We're going to talk about that in the coming months because it's got a lot going for it. Right now I want to jump in and talk about some youth soccer. This is something very important with tryouts coming up. Our youth soccer segment is brought to you by the Michigan Jaguars. The Michigan Jaguars this weekend are actually doing their invitational. So the Michigan Jags every year put a big tournament together with their teams. And they invite a bunch of teams. It's really good. Lots and lots of games, lots and lots of players out there playing. My son is plays for James Renton's team out in the U13 Jags team. So really looking forward to watching his games this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm missing one of his games. It's coming up, I think at 9:30 this morning, 9 o'clock, as I'm here doing the We Are Soccer show. So Michigan Jags, though, I tell you what, every week I'm just more impressed with what they're doing. There's such a fun, friendly environment. Players of every age and every level. They've got kids who are signing scholarships, commitments to colleges. They've got kids who are rec players who are just having a good time learning from good coaches. So I highly recommend Michigan Jags FC. Look them up. Go ahead and give them a shout. If you're looking to get your kid into soccer, look them up online. Tryouts are coming up. So tryouts is a big deal for parents and a big deal for kids. Let's talk, if we could, for 2 minutes on tryouts. I want to give you guys some tips for players and for parents. So if you are a youth player and you're heading out to tryouts are coming up within the next month here, and I believe we're about a month away, but I want you to keep these in mind. We also have on the We Are Soccer YouTube and Facebook, we've got some Aaron Bird next level training drills that you guys could work on. Work on those. They're 5 to 10 minute drills. You work on those for just a couple of minutes a day, and I guarantee you're going to improve in the next few weeks and be ready for tryouts. When you get to tryouts, though, so here's what we want to talk about. Players, show up on time, be prepared. You know, if tryouts start at 2 o'clock, be there with the ball, shin guards on, cleats tied. You're warmed up at 2 o'clock. Don't show up still tying your soccer boots at 2 o'clock. All right, show up on time. And here's some important stuff. when you're playing, because we all know during tryouts we play little games, right? Whether they're 5v5, they're 11v11. Get the ball down on the floor. If it's bouncing, settle the ball, get it down, and start to connect with other players, okay? In those games, I want to see players, when I coached and I was doing tryouts, I was looking for players who are confident on the ball. I was looking for players who connected with other players, give the ball, get the ball, turn, connect with someone else, and that communicated. You don't need to know people's names if you're playing soccer. One of the things about soccer is you don't need to know who's on the left or who's on the right. You don't need to know their names. You can communicate without knowing names, right? So communicate, confidence on the ball, connect. You do not have to score goals in tryouts. So kids, whether you're U18 and trying out for a new team, or you're a U6 or U7 trying out for a new team, you don't have to score goals. Coaches, good coaches, can pick players out who don't score goals. Connect, be confident on the ball, communicate, all right? That's all you got to do. Go ahead, give those little videos we got on the We Are Soccer social channels from Aaron Bird and Next Level Training. Go ahead and give those a watch. I'm telling you, you do some of those drills, kids, for 5 minutes a day. The confidence on the ball, the speed of which you can make decisions is going to improve. All right, tips for parents. All right, as I mentioned, my son, he's 7. He plays for the U8 boys Michigan Jags team. So I'm in the boat that a lot of you guys are in. I want my kid to play on the best team. I want my kid to go and progress. But here's the thing. I've done this as a player growing up, and my dad was a professional soccer player, and I never heard him yell on the sidelines. He encouraged me. He told me little things and tips. But here's something I want you guys as parents to listen to. Make sure your kids have fun. That's the #1 goal, okay? Don't pressure them. If you put pressure on them to go do well in tryouts, it could backfire. They could close up. Just make it fun for them, all right? No matter what team your child makes, whether it's the A team, the B team, the C team, just be happy they're on a team, all right? Even if they make the C team, they're going to get playing time. They're going to get good coaching. They're going to shine, and players can get moved up. That should be the goal, right? So I can tell you, if your kid's good enough, he's going to make a team, he's going to shine through, and maybe halfway through the year he gets put onto that B team or put onto that A team. You don't want your kid on the A team if he's sitting on the bench and not getting minutes. Please, please try to understand this, parents, okay? It's very important. Make sure your kids are having fun and they're growing and learning. That's all it is. I found this clip last night that I want to show if I could. It's from a Jags player, Amanda Simon. Amanda, I hope you don't mind that we're using this, but it really kind of illustrates. Watch how she gets the ball down and starts running, right? The defender's doing a poor job backing up there. But one touch, gets the ball down, runs right at the defense. Brilliant. Here's another one. As you can see, she found herself in some space. She's defending, closes down. That last 10 yards, she sprints towards the player who's got the ball, closes down, goes straight at the goal. Get the ball, go straight to goal. Really, really like these clips she's got going on. Here, she's running with a defender. Watch how she pulls off the shoulder there. Pulls off to the middle of the goal. Keep an eye on the ball. Make sure she's on sides. Great little clip. Amanda, again, I hope you don't mind that we use that. I was on a Twitter feed for the Jags. I saw that last night, and it had 2 or 3 little things in there that I'm kind of stressing. One, she took a touch when the ball was bouncing off her chest, got the ball down. Her second touch, settled the ball, and her next touch, she's running. She's going straight to goal and exploiting that defense and the space they left. The other one, she closes the defender down. The last 10 yards, she sprints at the defender. The defender took a bad touch. She got the ball. Very nice skills there. I like to see that. So great job, Amanda. All right, guys, we could go all day. There's so much soccer this week, and there will be more. Be sure to check out some of the other videos we got. We do 2 or 3 little videos during the week. This upcoming week, I believe we're going to try go live on We Are Soccer 2 or 3 times. There's bound to be more soccer. It's not stopping. We've got youth soccer with tryouts coming up. We're going to put up some more training drills for you guys. We've got Detroit City FC playing in a few days' time here. More great soccer to watch and talk about. After this weekend, obviously with the Premiership games we've got going on, we've got La Liga, more Bundesliga. We haven't even dived into the Bundesliga games and the Pokal Cup coming up in a couple weeks. Today, this afternoon, just so everybody's aware, on ESPN, ESPN Plus, I believe, Dortmund are taking on Leipzig. That matchup today is going to be a really good one. Both teams have something to play for. That's going to be a really good game. Those teams then play in the Pokal Cup, which is the equivalent to the FA Cup there in Germany. They play in a couple weeks. So, just so much soccer. And yeah, the business end of the season here, as I like to call it, for Serie A, La Liga, Premiership, all the leagues is coming to an end. They're all finding their final positions and finding where they're going to be. Yes, that's coming to an end. But this summer, oh my word, this summer, we've got the Gold Cup, we've got the Euros, we've got the Olympics with the women, and we've still got DCFC playing men and women. So much soccer coming up this summer. Stick with us at We Are Soccer. We've got a lot more coming, so be sure, as I said, to check out our videos that we're going to be doing in the middle of the week. So much soccer. You can also find us on Spotify and iTunes as a podcast. Everything we do, we're going to be doing interviews. Right now, talking to a former Premiership striker, trying to get him to do an interview. I think we're lining up a time this week, so that could be coming next week. And as I said, next week on the show, we're going to have, currently, at this moment, we're going to have the DCFC women's coach, Sam Pirani, and hopefully he brings one of his players because, man, we really want to talk about that season they've got coming up for them. News and notes for us here. News and notes brought to you by Superior Family Dental. I was actually out at the Superior Family Dental offices yesterday. Love talking to Dr. Randy and Dr. Jeff. So much fun. They got two offices. We were at, yesterday I was at filming some stuff with them. I was at the Farmington Hills office. They have a Milford office as well. Their staff actually has some pretty good soccer talent. We put together a little video which we're going to display later this week and then next week on the show. So keep your eyes open for that. We played a fun little game. Their staff, they can play some soccer. I know Dr. Jeff can play some soccer. He was a former college soccer player. So if you guys are looking for any dental work, mouth guards or anything like that for your youth player, check out Dr. Jeff and Dr. Randy. Dr. Jeff, as I said, former college soccer player, very good player, super good dude. They're also the team dentist of the Detroit Red Wings. So I will say I was in there, I think it was 2 years ago, having my 6-month checkup, and I did bump into a star Red Wing player, super nice dude. So Red Wings are in and out of that office. If you're looking for a dentist, a new dentist office, I highly recommend Superior Family Dental. All right, guys, so just some news and notes. Obviously, one of the things this week, kind of on the down low, Christian Pulisic mentioned he's a little frustrated. There's lack of playing time. I don't know if that's a precursor for him trying to make a move this summer. It would be a big money move. If he moves, I hope it's to Villa, but I doubt it. Doubt that's going to happen. One of the questions I put up this week on the We Are Soccer group chat, and the answer surprised me. I put up a poll. If you're starting a team, so you're starting a brand new team, who are you picking out of these young 3 players? You got Foden, Phil Foden from Man City, Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, or Kylian Mbappe from PSG. You get to pick one of those players. You starting? My pick is Foden. For me, I think he's just a phenomenal player. Then I would take Haaland, and then I would go Mbappe. The poll suggested something completely different. Apparently, you guys think Mbappe is the #1 player, Haaland second, and Foden third. That blew me away. Also, if you saw the clip of Eden Hazard after the Real Madrid-Chelsea game, kind of laughing and joking on the field with former Chelsea players, not a good look for Eden Hazard there. He was told emphatically by the club and the media in Madrid that that's not a good thing to do. It was a terrible look for him. We won't dig too much further than that, but laughing and joking after a loss, I mean, get kicked out of or eliminated from the Champions League, not a good look. Eden Hazard. Ed Sheeran is now sponsoring Ipswich Town. So I believe his name and his new tour is going to be across their shirt. Interesting. A lot more celebrities getting involved with buying soccer teams and sponsoring soccer teams. So another one there. Lots of stuff, lots of news coming out. I think we're going to see a lot more celebrities and big names and music tours and things like that on the front of soccer shirts. Not really sure what I feel about that, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll wrap it up. As I said, we're going to have a lot more coming up this week. Check us out in some of our other videos. We're going to try to go live a few times, so be sure to check us out. I want to say a big thank you to Woodward Sports and our awesome producer, Adam, behind the scenes. Thank you, Adam. Does all the hard work. He allows me to sit here and just talk soccer. He puts up all the graphics, as you see. So big thank you to Adam. Thank you again to our awesome sponsors, Detroit City FC, Michigan Jaguars, Superior Family Dental, Ross Mortgage and Tim Merritt, and Next Level Training. Kids, parents, check out the Next Level Training videos as we talked about. Aaron Bird, one of the top trainers in the state of Michigan. Nothing but awesome videos. He's trying to help kids get better. It also has a lot of camps coming up this summer. The spots are filling up quick. Make sure you sign up for the Next Level Training camps early. They have pro soccer players coming in. I know one of the players that's been training with Aaron, former U.S. men's national team player from Michigan. Big name. Those are the types of people Aaron has out at these Next Level Training camps. So sign up before spots are gone. And that's it. Do me a favor, guys. Last thing, like all the social channels. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Yes, we're on TikTok, but we haven't done too much yet. So like all the We Are Soccer social channels, give the Woodward Sports social channels a lot of love as well. If you could, download their app. You can find us there. And as for We Are Soccer, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with our live show and a few little shows this week, as we mentioned. All right, you guys have a good week. Enjoy the soccer. Cheers.